Hey there, everybody. This is McFlyGold, and welcome to episode 4 of the Point and Click Adventure Toolkit tutorial series. All right. If you've been following along, then you should be pretty much where I'm at now. The only difference is I imported a bed and colored it. I figured I'd skip over that since I've gone over it with the other objects that I provided for these tutorials. This will also be provided in the description, but for time's sake, I figured I would just slap it in there so you guys don't have to watch all of that. The next thing that we're going to do is make Fluffy. So Fluffy will be on the second floor, and we're going to give Fluffy the puppy chow. Whoops, I moved my bed. We're going to give Fluffy the puppy chow, and then that's going to change the destination of this door and some dialogue stuff that we'll set up. So what you want to do is, if you want to do it exactly like I did in my little preview video, then whoop, the Kraken is what I use as Fluffy, and it's under the permanently free collection. There it is. So you can download this Kraken and import it into the project, and you will have Fluffy in its true form. If you don't want to do that, in the permanently free section, actually, there are some other animal sets. There's wolves and lions and tigers and bears, oh my. You're more than free to use any asset you want to. Or if you don't want to do any of that at all and just want to learn about the NPC interaction, then you can just bring in a new NPC. So this right here is the base NPC that comes with the toolkit. So in my, let's see, level 1, I have okay, there's characters. So I'm going to copy, let's grab this and copy the NPC character. And I am going to rename my copy BPPNC. We don't need all of that stuff there. I'm just going to call it Fluffy. And let's put an underscore there. All right. Now I'm going to import the Kraken into this project, but I'll skip the import process for you, and when we cut back, it'll be done, and then I'll show you how to incorporate it into the NPC. All right, so that was really quick, the import process, because I've already downloaded it before. If you haven't, it might take a little while, you know, depending on your connection or whatever. But now I have a new folder called Kraken. This would be, again, whatever creature or NPC that you want to make, you're free to use. In here, I'm going to open, and we want the full blueprint editor. And for the mesh, go to the viewport here. We're going to replace this mesh with Fluffy. So open that. Let's scooch that so I can see meshes. And there's the skeletal mesh. So we're going to replace. Whoop. Now, as you can see, Fluffy's really big. Let's compile. And if I were to, let's put this up there. If I were to drag Fluffy straight into the scene, yeah, Fluffy's a big boy. So we're going to rescale Fluffy, and it's going to be by a very large amount. So let's click the mesh here. Okay, make sure that's checked so that we're doing it on all, and we're going to bring it down to 0.15 of its original scale. Let's zoom in there. And now you see it's like more closer to the size of like the mannequin. We're going to take this capsule and we're going to just make it a big giant circle here. And the last thing that we'll do here is back on the mesh for Fluffy. We're not going to use an animation blueprint. We're just going to add an animation and let's see, idle. There you go. Fluffy has a nice idle animation. And if we go back into the level, you'll see Fluffy's a lot more of a manageable size. I'll just rotate him a little bit and that should be okay. All right. So now we have Fluffy in the level. The next thing we're going to do is to make sure that we're ahead of any errors. We'll go to our, let's grab this. I'm going to hit Control. I'm going to click down here and then I'm going to hit Control B. And that's just going to bring me like into the directory that Fluffy's in. This way I can just get to my project a little bit quicker. And in my blueprints, we're going to open the dialog and we're going to add a few more rows into this. So the first one, since we're working on Fluffy right now, is going to be inspect Fluffy. Now on inspect Fluffy, there's going to be a couple of them. This is going to be what you get when you walk into the room, and if you click on Fluffy without doing any other, like you're not feeding him or whatever, you're just clicking on him, it's going to be our interaction. So the first one I have is there's my good boy. And I think, yeah, we'll leave it at 2 seconds. And now we're going to add another one. And I think this one we're going to leave blank. And we're just going to cut it down to, we're going to make it shorter. So half a second. We're going to add another one. And this is going to be him asking, are you hungry? And I think we'll just leave that at the 2 seconds. And after that 2 seconds, so it's defaultly at 2 seconds anyway, right there. We'll add one more. And this is going to be Fluffy. So we there's a file that we're going to have to edit to make the text go over Fluffy's head instead of the player's head. We'll get to that in just a moment. So Fluffy is going to reply with woof woof. And then that'll be the end of that. Let's save there. Now we're going to add another row, which I named Nom Nom. And that's going to be for feeding Fluffy. So when we give Fluffy the food, add, it's going to say, feel better now. And no, wait a minute, I jumped ahead. that's going to be the last one. The first one is nom 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 because Fluffy's eating the food. Sorry about that. Nom nom nom. There we go. And then we're going to do another one that's just going to be blank. And the timing on that will be 1 second. So visual settings. 1 second. All right. Just referring to my notes to make sure that I get the timing on everything right. All right. So now this one, I believe this one should be feel better now. And then the last two, this one's going to be blank again because this is the pause between the conversation. And I don't know, is this one just 1 second also? Yep. All right. So 1 second here. And then the last one is going to go back to Fluffy, and it's going to say, and on completion, it's the end. Save. All right. Now we're going to add another row. This one's going to be fed Fluffy. Add an element to that. I should go to the store now. So this is going to be when you go through the first floor door. So this one, but after you fed Fluffy. So Fluffy's going to change some things. And now when you go through that door, the first time you go through, it doesn't say anything. It just brings you upstairs. First time you try it, if you don't have the puppy chow, it says something. And actually, I should double check that I have deleted my save file. Should always start with a fresh save file. This way, when you make changes, it doesn't make your game act weird and wonky because it's trying to access data that's not in the save file from things that you did before. So I made sure to delete the saves. And let's see. Yeah, that should be good for the dialogue now. Okay, Fluffy. Okay, so the file that we need to edit, the easiest way to find it is just click here on the PNC Toolkit and type in tag. And we want to edit this gameplay tags here. So let's open that up. Now this, we're going to add a tag for Fluffy so that when Fluffy talks, Fluffy will use the, what is it here? The interaction position component and the dialogue position component to say that Fluffy's doing this dialogue and the player's doing that dialogue, etc. You'll understand in a moment. We're going to click add because we're adding a new row, and we're going to name the row Fluffy. That says Fluffly, don't it? There we go. And for the tag, we're going to say character dot. Make sure that's okay. Yeah. going to be character dot capital NPC, and then another dot, and then FLUFFY, fluffy. And make sure to save the file, of course. Now, the reason that we're doing that again is so that the dialogue system is going to know which person is talking back and forth. And we need to add that to Fluffy and to our dialogue here. So if we go to inspect Fluffy, and move this out the way here. So the first one, there's my good boy. The second one is the pause. And the third one, are you hungry? The last one is woof woof. That's the dog talking. It's Fluffy. So here, under character tag, we're going to edit this to character, NPC, and Fluffy. All right. Save that. Then for nom nom, we're going to do the same thing. So nom 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 is Fluffy. So under the tag, we're going to make sure we change it to NPC Fluffy. Second one is the space. Feel better now is the player. And then another space. And then the last one is woof. And that is also Fluffy. And then that's that. Now on Fluffy, what we want to do is go to the global interaction component. And here under gameplay tag, we're going to say character, NPC, Fluffy. So now Fluffy is registered as with that tag. And now the dialogue knows who's doing that dialogue. Compile and save. Save. Okay, so before we forget, let's add an interaction volume for Fluffy. So I'm going to just take this one and I'm going to copy it. So I'm going to hold Alt and drag it over. I'll set it about there. And go to the details. And pick Fluffy. And then save that out. All right, now let's test the scene and see what's happening. Get the puppy chow. Go through the door. Inspect. Okay. So we did miss a step on Fluffy, which would be on inspection. Where is that? It's going to be interaction dialogue. Inspect Fluffy. So that is that dialogue there. Okay, let's make sure we compile and save. Now, since we already picked up the puppy chow, it should be in our inventory. It is. Now, if we inspect, there's my good boy. Are you hungry? Woof, woof. Perfect. You'll notice that he kind of stuttered a little. I think that's because Fluffy has some collisions. That's not a big deal. All right. Now, we can't give him the puppy chow yet, but we got the dialogue working. And it popped up over his head, so we know we have the tags working also. So let's do the feeding of the Fluffy. So back in here, we're going to, let's see, under functions override, and where is it? On, no, it's not on, it's just, there it is, receive item. Okay, we're going to drag this out. So for the item, we're going to pull off of here, and we're going to hit equal equal. And in here, puppy chow. Make a branch, hold B and click. And just pull that into there. Now, we're going to copy this node, Control C and V. And if it's false, we're just going to return nothing. But if it's true, if the item that he's receiving is the puppy chow, then we're going to start dialog sequence. And the dialog sequence is going to be nom nom, because we fed him nom nom nom. Okay. Now we're going to get the scene manager. And with the scene manager, we are going to remove state string. There we go. Thought it was remove string. It's just state string. Okay, the scene name is the scene that we're in, so we don't need to do that. And this is going to be fed fluffy. Now we haven't added that one yet, I don't think, but we will. I think we did actually. That should be the last episode. And then we're going to validate and say consumed, because he's going to consume the puppy chow, which just means he's taking it out of our inventory. All right. Let's double check our scene manager. Edit, fed fluffy. Okay, so it's there. This is going to be what's going to allow us to, we're basically changing the state of something in the scene, because now we can reference, does fed fluffy exist in our scene manager? If it does, we want to do this thing. If it doesn't, we want to do that thing. So once that changes, we can go through the door, and now we're going to edit our door. So Control B and open it up. And right here on this false branch, this is where we're going to change. See the fed fluffy here that we did last time? Now we're going to actually make some changes here. Okay, I'm going to copy this, Control C and V, and let's just move this stuff up a little bit. Just try and give myself a little bit of room down here. I'm going to hit B and make a branch, and this is going to connect up there. There. So this is going to be its own thing here. So now we're going to say start. Am I spelling that right? Yeah. Start dialog sequence. And it's going to be fed fluffy. So if you remember, fed fluffy is this one. And it says, well, I should go to the store now. So this is what it's going to say when he goes through the door after Fluffy's been fed. But go to the door, you're going to see that it's because we removed this fed Fluffy string from our scene manager. All right, the next thing we want to do is give the door a location to go to. So for now, right over here, we'll add a cube. Okay. Scale it up some, so we'll just say 10 and 10. And we'll just scooch it over here, bring it down a little bit. We're going to make a copy of this camera. Hold Alt and drag it over. Pull it back some. Trying to see, yeah, like that looks okay. We need to add a navigation volume. Hit P on the keyboard to see the green. I like to pull it down, and we'll change its scale. Center it just a little bit. And scale it on the Y. All right. Next thing we want is another door. So that door is going to go over here. I'm going to copy door number 2. Actually, we're going to just say duplicate. Door 3 is a fine name. And slap it right in there. We want to make sure that it's unlocked. Okay. And that should be enough to get us in and out of the door. Okay, hit P, make the green go away. So now this door is called BP Door 3. That name we want to remember. So I'm going to hit F2 to rename it and then just hit Control C to copy it. Now back in door 1, off of here, we're going to say get all actors of class. And in here, we're going to search for BP Door 3. Now we're going to get copy. And in here, we're going to set target door. Let's do that. Let me see, refresh. Why does it have target there? That's not right. Okay, in our variables, here, let's look for target door. Target door. Let's just drag it in from there. Set. There we go. Drag this over. Connect that. And then we want to all right, that doesn't show up unless we have our scene manager, right? So let's Control C, come over here and paste it. And now we want to remove state string from scene. And this one is going to be say it once. Okay, now this we don't have in our scene manager yet, but this say it once. Let's copy that. And we're going to paste it there. Now the reason that we're doing that is because we're going to connect this here. And what's going to happen is when we go through the door, it's going to check the scene manager and see if say it once exists. If it does exist, then he's going to say the dialogue under fed fluffy. We'll go through all of this and then remove it. Next time we go through that door, it's going to check. Since it's gone, it's going to skip that dialogue sequence, and it's just going to take us through the door. So let's compile that. And I still have the scene manager open, so we're going to status strings. We're going to add a new one and paste say it once and save. So if I did all of that right, I should be able to pick up where I left off. So if I hit play, oh, stop. We have to tell this door, or actually it's not the door, it's the camera. Click this camera here and say that it's not our starting camera. And actually, now that I say that, we do need one more thing. We need a trigger volume. Almost forgot. Let's come over here to trigger volume, put it, we'll say right there. And that's going to be the volume that triggers this camera. So we're going to click this camera, and for trigger volume, we're going to use the picker and pick that volume. This way, when the player walks into that volume, this camera will load up. Save and play. Okay, so what is this? Where'd this box come from? Maybe that was a cube that I meant to be that floor over there. Get out of here. All right, sorry about that. Let's hit play. Okay, so this should be empty because we already have it. There it is. Let's go upstairs. Gonna click the puppy chow and nom nom nom. Feel better now? Woof. Perfect. And now it's gone from our inventory. Now it's not saved yet, so if I were to stop this scene and then reload it, we would have it back on our inventory. Go downstairs. Now if we click on the door, it takes us to our new scene, but it didn't do the dialogue. Why did it not do the dialogue? It should have said, well, I should go to the store now. Let's look at the door. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Let me delete the saves and start over. Maybe something went funny there. Okay, collect that. And now feed the puppy. Go through the door. Go through the door. There we go. Well, I should go to the store now. And we're in our new scene. If I click on the door, it'll take us. I didn't assign it. I missed two things here. So one, there's no interaction volume. Well, let's bring one of those over. Alt and drag. All right. Let's bring it over here, drop it to the floor, and delete that, and assign that. Okay. And then this needs a location, which I was very silly and didn't do. So target door, click the picker, and there we go. Save, and just test the door one more time. Now, since we've gone through the door once, it removed that state string, so now he shouldn't say the dialogue. And he goes to the door. Walk over here, go there, opens the door, back into our scene. Yay! If you followed along, hopefully my goof ups shouldn't affect you too much. The only other thing to do to make it like the demo scene would be to add the car. So there's a couple of ways that we can handle that. One would be for you to import a car model from wherever, or we could just add in a blank actor, whatever it may be, a cube or triangle or whatever. I will migrate a car from one of the drivable projects that Unreal gives you, and then we'll add the car and the random dialogue really quick. Okay, so once you've imported your vehicle, whatever vehicle or object that may be, mine is the default car from Unreal, we're going to create a new interactable object. So right click, blueprint class, interactable object base, select, and I'm just going to call this BP car. I'm going to open the car. And we need a mesh, select that, add component, skeletal mesh, and we have our car. Compile. Okay. Let's pull this up there. We can close this stuff. All we need to concentrate right now is the car. So we'll drag the car into the scene. Rotate it a little bit. And we'll copy this interactable object here. And just place it like there. And select the car. Save that. Now for the car event graph, we're going to override use object. This isn't going to be too complicated. So what we want to do is right click and call the parent function, connect these up. Going to B for branch, connect these up. False, we're going to add to this return node. Success to that. We're going to do that whole make it pretty thing. Pull that out a little bit. All right. So what we want to do is create a new variable, and we'll just call this random dialogue. And we're going to change it to name and array. Compile. So right now I only have two different things for the car, so that's what we're going to do. 1, 2. Interact car 1. interact car 2. Okay. We're going to hold control and drag this in. We're going to get a copy. And then we're going to start dialogue sequence, and a dialogue sequence is going to be one of the two things in there. And then we will connect that up. Now we do need to add one more thing here, and that's going to be random integer in range. And the range is going to just be, since there's only two things in the array, 0 or 1. Then you would adjust this depending on how many different random things you want your character to say. So we do want to edit our dialogue. So we'll open that up, and we're going to add interact car 1. And interact car 2. So interact car 1. I need to learn how to spell. I need gas. And for car 2, I just wrote something really silly. You can make it say whatever you want to. I just made him say vroom. Vroom. You can even be really silly about it. Save. And save. That should be enough. I think we're good. We can test it out. Click on the door. That didn't work. I added the interaction volume. Let's double check. No collision. There we go. So set it to overlap. No, not overlap. Block all dynamic. Compile. There we go. That was funny. I need gas. Vroom! Yay! Now you've got random dialogue when you click on the car. And back home he goes. Okay. That is the end of my tutorial series. I have taught you how to make interactable objects. I've taught you how to make inventory objects, how to link up doors, and how to even get the doors to go to different locations depending on different states of your scene. I hope that's been helpful. I'm sorry if anything was confusing. I am unfortunately not the best teacher. I just wanted to share some knowledge of some things that I've learned along the way of using this toolkit, and hopefully some people will find it helpful. If I think of anything else to work on as a video tutorial, I will certainly add another video to the series. If anyone comes up with an idea, feel free to shoot it my way, and if I don't think it's too difficult for me to figure out, I'll make a video on it. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope these videos were helpful. Go make something awesome and way better than this little example that I made here. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.